creature that's developed a shocking but effective defense mechanism is none other than the electric eel, able to spontaneously generate high-voltage pulses of electricity. So what do you think happens when a vicious predator like the caiman, the Amazon's equivalent of a crocodile, tries to take a bite out of an electric eel? Will it get the shock of its life, or is it lights out for the cranky caiman? If you ever put a 9-volt battery on your tongue, you'll know that electricity tastes terrible. There's also that unpleasant, painful jolt in your mouth, kind of like licking an electric fence. Now imagine ramping that battery up from 9 volts all the way to 860 volts. And you're starting to get an idea just how much biting an electric eel sucks. So how do electric eels deliver such a powerful shock? What can that much electricity do to a human being? And did the caiman make it out alive? You'll have to stick around to find out. Electrophorus electricus, otherwise known as the electric eel, is a curious fish. Despite having the word eel in its name and looking exactly like one, they're not eels at all. In fact, they're part of the Gymnotiformes family of knifefish and are more closely related to a catfish or carp than a traditional eel. Up until 2019, it was believed there was only one species of electric eel. That was before an expedition found and classified 2 more species, Electrophorus vari and Electrophorus volti. Growing up to 8 feet long and weighing as much as 44 pounds, you'll find electric eels throughout the northeast of South America, including the Amazon and Orinoco river basins. They love lurking through slow-moving freshwater creeks and swamps, using their secret superpower to stun and kill their diet of fish, shrimp, amphibians, and sometimes even small mammals. For centuries, the indigenous tribes of Venezuela called the electric eel arimna, or something that deprives you of motion. To catch these slimy, sparky treats, tribesmen used to drive herds of wild horses into the eel-infested ponds. The horses' hooves would churn up the mud and bring all the eels to the surface, where they would leap out of the water and attack. The tribesmen would wait until the swarm of rapidly discharging eels had run out of juice before jumping in and catching 1 or 2 for dinner. This technique was witnessed by Prussian explorer Alexander von Humboldt, who in 1800 became utterly fascinated by this mystical creature. In a remote rainforest village in Venezuela called Los Llanos, Alexander set up a series of crude experiments to test the strength of the electric eel's shock. Now, when I say crude, I mean crude. There were no voltimeters or amperage meters. Humboldt would simply grab the eel and objectively rate the power of each electric jolt. After 4 hours of experiments and some seriously shocking blasts, Alexander reported that his muscles ached well into the next day. Despite knowing that electric eels packed a seriously heavy electric punch, it would be at least 100 years before scientists would figure out how they did it. The secret to an electric eel's shocking talent lies in 3 pairs of specialized organs throughout their abdomen. There's the main organ, which spans half the dorsal section of the eel, Hunter's organ, which runs the length of the eel's underbelly, and Sachs organ, which makes up the dorsal part of the eel's tail. These organs contain hundreds of thousands of modified muscle cells called electrocytes, arranged in perfect rows. Similar to the cells of a battery, the organization and stacking of these electrocytes allows a current of charged ions to flow through them, building current as it charges up. Electric eels also use the electrocytes in their Sachs organ to